Brazil may not be one of the world's most famous wine-producing countries, but the industry is growing rapidly here. The Vale dos Vinhedos in Rio Grande do Sul is home to the headquarters of many of the country's vineyards, including the Lidio Carraro Boutique Winery.
I always like to compare Brazilian wine with that of our neighbours, Chile and Argentina, who is something like 30 years ahead of us. Brazil has been producing wine for a far shorter period, but thanks to the quality of our wine, and because of its distinguished style, with products that are fruitier and more elegant, Brazilian wine is often compared to a style that is between the old and new worlds. In other words, it has its own identity, and that's why it's been gaining a lot of international recognition.
Lidio Carraro is the producer of the official wine of the FIFA World Cup, a range known as Faces.
We wanted to think of a name that had the same meaning in Portuguese and in other languages around the world. The name Faces reflects the diversity, the many faces of our Brazil. Not just Brazilian wine, but everything in the country's imagination. We wanted to reflect this Brazilianness, this experience of the country through its wine. One of its strongest points is the ability to express Brazilian happiness and the diversity we have here.
The Faces range includes a white, a rosé and a red wine.
They all follow the same guideline, which is to transmit the utmost Brazilianness. But what is that? We like to say it's the colours, the tastes and the smells of Brazil. In other words, it shows Brazilian oenology through the grapes grown in different territories. And as well as that, it presents a style that reminds us of the characteristics that people in Brazil and around the world relate to Brazilians themselves.
The red wine, inspired by the tactical setup of a football team, is a blend of 11 different grapes, each fulfilling a different role. The idea was born whilst Monica was watching a match with her father.
The passion for football ends up getting transferred to the wine glass in this search to understand the tactical formation, to understand the characteristics of each grape and why they were chosen. So this is an important part of this idea of being relaxed, this question of Brazil in a glass, this search for a style and a reason for these wines to be completely identified with our country.
With 5 games scheduled for Porto Alegre, fans will have ample opportunity to visit Vale dos Vinhedos, the wine capital of Brazil.